100 rated chess. But it's an Easter egg hunt. Generate 5 squares on your opponent's side. Those squares have eggs, and you need to collect by moving to those squares. You can collect 1 egg per piece, or pawn. And if a piece, or pawn, with an egg gets captured, the video ends. Very challenging. We get a 132 from Germany. Alright, since this is a random related challenge and it is physically impossible for a human to do anything random, I'll ask the computer to do the job. Very simple. First we introduce random and the board. We only need to choose the squares, so there is no need to create the entire board. We choose a random square. We find 5 random squares and append them to the list of the 5 chosen squares. However, there may be a chance that I get the same square twice, therefore I actually need a set instead of the list. The chosen squares are now actually all over the board, but we can only choose the squares on opponent's side of the board, so I'll change it to something like this and this. And just to be clear, I created this before the game, so I didn't know what color I would be getting. Let's run it. Quack. Alright, this is the result, and since you guys have already known that I got the white pieces, these are the 5 squares with the eggs. I need to land on those squares and the eggs must not be broken. C4. Preparing C5, taking the first egg. And by the way, for those people that are about to backseat my code, that I should have just created a 2-dimensional list to represent the board and choose from the board instead. No, I don't have the RAM for that. Maybe you people are the real problem with the RAM price instead of AI companies. Knight F6. Wait. On second thought, going C5 right now may actually be way too risky, as not only I have to take the eggs but I also have to defend the materials holding the eggs. So C5 is just asking my opponent to attack the pawn and the video ends. I guess we should only do the challenge with the pieces as they can retreat backward. E4. Okay, maybe this is way more difficult than I expected. 5 eggs are probably way too many. E5. D4. Completely opening up the board. This is the only way I can get my pieces to G7 and D7. C6. Aha. That allows bishop G5 taking the first egg. But when you think about it, G5 is actually also very reachable by the king's knight. Therefore I guess I should reserve that egg for the horsey. D takes C5 instead. Each piece can only hold 1 egg and I need 5 of them. I need to arrange the work strategically and also defend my pieces. Knight G4. Aha. That blunders a horsey. Well, I guess if he resigns here then the video ends, but I mean he resigns just because of a horsey. Right? D5. Queen G3. The queen shall be reserved for the 7th rank eggs. D takes C4. Bishop E3. Preparing the bishop for the C5 egg. Bishop B4 check. Knight C3. Knight D7. Aha. I was worrying that he might castle and G7 becomes difficult to reach. I guess we should use the queen right now. Queen takes G7. Alright. 1 egg out of 5. Now this queen must not die, but I guess keeping a queen alive is not that difficult of a task. Rook F8. Bishop takes C4. Knight takes C5. Aha. That blunders the second knight. I guess if he resigns then I just have to accept it. This challenge is way too difficult that if I don't take blundered pieces then there is no way to make progress, as I also need to maintain enough of my pieces alive. Bishop E7. Alright. Bishop C5. 2 eggs. B5. I'll go back this way. Maintaining the potential check. Realistically speaking, I can't just keep everything alive while trying to reach into his half of the board like this. This bishop shall happily die when necessary to save the egg holding pieces. Rook G8. Knight F3. Going for the G5 egg. Rook takes G2. Bishop back. Bishop G4. Aha. That bishop has just conveniently blocked his rook from going backward. Knight G5. Third egg is claimed. F6 is quite scary here, but I think I can still save both. Queen D3. Very aggressive. Bishop takes F7 check. King F8. Aha. That blunders a checkmate in 1, but we don't have enough eggs yet. Rook D1. Preparing the rook for the d7 egg. Well, even though he can just take it with his bishop now, but I am obviously still threatening the checkmate in one, so he has to do something to save the king here, or at least try to infiltrate further with the queen to find a way to win back some materials. Right? Queen e2 check. That blunders a queen, and I don't have another choice. Please don't resign, you can't just force me to take your queen and then resign. Bishop takes e2. Yes. Rook to d7. The fourth egg, and definitely the hardest one to grab. There is only one last egg left on f5, and we coincidentally enough are still having the light square bishop. And even though now he has two ways to take my knight, which ends the video, I mean, he should obviously be able to see that rook takes g5 not only loses materials, but it also blunders a checkmate in 3. And bishop takes g5 is even worse, as it connects the rook to the bishop and once again allowing queen h8, a very simple and easy to see back rank checkmate in 1. I can't afford to lose right now when there is already so much potential to win this absurdly difficult challenge. What the f-